Welcome back to the Prado Museum and our weekly session in English on the museum's social media programming, a project that's supported by American Friends of the Prado Museum. We encourage everyone to find out about what we do to support this museum, as well as our sister institution, the Fundación Amigos del Museo del Prado. Today we're in a different place. We're outside of the museum and taking advantage of the beautiful covering of the scaffolding that the Prado has decided to show us for everyone's delight. It is a image of a scene of the Bay of Naples, painted in 1759 by the artist Antonio Joli, an Italian artist. It is showing the departure, all of these ships. It's the Spanish fleet, or a Spanish-Italian fleet, that is leaving with the newly claimed King of Spain, Charles III, so Carlos III of Spain. Now, he's very related to the Prado Museum, as he will, as King of Spain, be the person who commissions the building that is now the Prado Museum. He's very related to all of the imagery and the ideas that we think of Madrid today. And he was a great reformer and promoter of the arts, of economy. He was, in general, considered a really good political king that was trying to, from enlightened absolutism, make a better society. Now, he's related to this spot, or here we have just an image of the whole painting that is inside the Prado Museum, and we see the Vesuvius, this is the Bay of Naples, and the fleets leaving. Now, Carlos III had already been, when he's leaving here, he's in his early 40s, and he had already been king of Naples and Sicily for at least 20 years. And so he has a lot of experience. He promoted a lot of experience bringing people together for the common government, and he made new palaces, new roads, new sanitation. He also protected the discovery of Pompeii and Herculean, and he was the king who promoted its excavation and the protection of all these archaeological finds that are happening that are amazing for Europe and the world, where all of a sudden we're rediscovering the ancients. And he was actually born in Madrid from the first Bourbon king in Spain. It was Philip V, and his second wife, Isabella Farnesio. And so in other videos, we've talked about how their art patronage is also very important for the collection in the Prado, especially the sculpture collection, and we've talked about that in other videos. These are his parents. Now, he was actually baptized in this church, the Church of the Jerónimos, in the Royal Monastery of the Geronimites. This is a church that is very related to the royal family, and to this whole neighborhood. It was what was here when this was the outskirts of Madrid. The road that would take from the royal palace to this church is called the Carrera San Jerónimo. This is where the kings and queens, the royal family, would come for religious retreats. And around this church is where the palace of the Buen Retiro had been constructed. And from that Palace of the Buen Retiro, we have the Retiro Gardens. All of this area on the outside is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it was the field in front of this church, the Jerónimite church, the field, which in Spanish is called the Prado. It's the Monk's Field, was the spot where this new museum under Carlos III was built. With the new extension, we're on what would be kind of around on the opposite side of the neoclassical entrance, and that was facing the Paseo del Prado. And Charles III, he's following the scientific revolution, the scientific studies, and this was to be a museum of natural sciences next to the Royal Botanical Gardens. So it's all of a project of learning, of science, of progress, and then he was also very gave a lot of importance to public image, the image of Spain as a world capital. And so he made the Museo del Prado, the fountains, large institutions, and it was really a reign for about 20 years. He's also the king at the same time that's supporting the uprising of the American colonies against England. So there's actually a portrait of George Washington in the Royal Academy of Fine Arts that's talks about a free trade agreement with the new United States, and it's a very interesting time of change and development, and new roads and new museums and new monuments, and trying to create a better society. And we have this beautiful painting by Antonio Joli, and as we can see, these boats, the Spanish fleets that's leaving the Bay of Naples, and Antonio Joli, he shows us clearly which is the head ship, and it's the one with all of the little boats, supply boats around it, and that is the ship where the king is leaving. He will be on that ship to arrive in Barcelona. With a very warm reception as the new king, Charles III, and from there head to the court in Madrid, where he undertook a great labor of reform and progress. Antonio Joli was a painter of opera scenes. He worked in the theater and created beautiful backdrops for operas. He worked in Venice. He also went to Germany. He worked in London before he came to Madrid. And in Madrid, he also was here for at least around 10 years. And he was also, with the opera scenes, he also created this type of work, which are called veduta, which is an Italian word for views. And they were kind of large landscape views, sometimes with archaeological remains, or in Madrid, there's one in the sister institution of the Prado, the Royal Academy of Fine Arts, a view of the street of Alcalá in Madrid. And so they're very specific, finely detailed views of that moment. And so they're very, very interesting and very sought after by collectors, and very interesting for us as viewers today. So thank you very much for being with us, and we hope you enjoy this view while it lasts, and otherwise see it on the inside of the museum in your next visit. And we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much.